It's about to get shady up in here.
Hello, my name is Rick and welcome to my YouTube channel. On this channel I tend to review products that are under $25, so if that appeals to you in any way, I would recommend subscribing below and following me on my Instagram at rickskin_. So in my last video when I talked about my background and like what I want this channel to be, I mentioned that I'd like to use some of my psychological background and statistical background to potentially analyze some marketing campaigns that we commonly see, or really hyped up campaigns that we see within the skincare industry. And we've had a lot of launches lately, and specifically one that has taken all over my Instagram is the KraveBeauty moisturizer. And I have to start off with a disclaimer. So I'm not in any way, shape, or form attempting to be hateful or rain on anybody's parade. These are just reactions that I initially felt when I was exposed to this campaign, and I'm simply just documenting my initial feelings and reactions as a consumer. And you know, I'm not the type to stay like loyal to a brand. I like jokingly call myself like a skincare slut because, you know, a product can be pretty consistent, but like at the end of the day it comes down to the money that I'm spending, that I work for, so I expect whatever I invest in to be good, and I don't think that's a lot to ask for. And the products at Krave, you know, I've tried the Matcha Hemp Hydrating Cleanser and I've tried the Beach Shield, and both are almost flawless. They're both essentially holy grail products for me. The price points are amazing for how effective they are, and so for how ingenious the formulas are. So that's why I was a little taken aback by this. So my first problem is what the product is and how much they're charging for it. So it's a 9-ingredient formula with 2 actives. It can be 4 if you count 1,2-hexanediol and butylene glycol, but those are basically just humectants and solvents. So really the only 2 actives we have are squalane and the oatmeal extract. So first off, since there's not a lot of ingredients, you'd assume that it's really cheap to make. So that's 1. 2, my second one is, you know, they kind of belabored over how they can most ethically package this product, and you know, Leah shared a lot of her thought processes online, but if you kind of boil it all down, we're kind of just still left with a plastic jar. It's just a plastic jar, isn't it? And you know, that's something that's not revolutionary. Pretty much every skincare brand has plastic jar packaging. CeraVe's been doing it, and you know, that's nice that like all that thought went into it, but we don't know if maybe these other brands that have been using plastic packaging have gone through the same thought process, that they just haven't been documenting it. So that was the second miss for me. And third is that I can just recommend so many other budget moisturizers that are cheaper, either give you more and that have a little bit more actives that like you could still be considered for sensitive skin. So the fact that I can name so many alternatives, it was like, why would I pay $28 for a 9-ingredient moisturizer? You know what I mean? And then another kind of main problem I have is the campaign surrounding the moisturizer itself. You could say that I didn't like the way this oat moisturizer was rolled out. So there's actually a lot to applaud for this campaign. For instance, the diversity in the models they chose to showcase the product, how environmentally and ethically they tried to be in packaging the product, and then how they really tried to cater to a wider array of people, essentially why they simplified the formula so much. And the emphasis on the simplification of the formula is actually what kind of bothers me the most. And like every time they mention it, I just keep thinking like, you keep saying how simple it is, how many ingredients you chose to not use, and then I just remember $28. And initially I couldn't make sense of it, but later in the video I'm going to talk about potential explanations for why the price is so high. But it's like they keep talking about the simplicity of it, and then the only 2 actives are squalane and oat extract, both of which are not expensive ingredients. And so, you know, the price isn't coming from how exotic the actives are. They're relatively easy to come by. And even in the video that was posted kind of explaining the product, giving a little bit of the thought process behind what went into the creation of this product, the moisturizer was likened to like a pack of rolled oats, plain dry oats that you have sitting in your cupboard. And you know, it was saying that it was like a trusty and reliable staple in your pantry that you can always turn to in case like you don't have anything else. But I'm kind of like, why would you want to? That doesn't spark interest or urgency or want for that product, because usually those rolled oats are sitting in your pantry because you don't eat them. So I just found that kind of like a weird thing to highlight. Another problem was that even though they keep talking about how simple it is, they keep talking up these individual ingredients as if they're like something, they're essentially glorified water. Like they're talking about like, they're going through the active ingredients and literally the first one was water. And they were like, water's great for hydration. And it's like, yeah, like we know. And it really comes off to me as if they're like grasping at straws to try and make this seem like it's like better than it is. And in that same video, it was mentioned that you could potentially, it provides a great base for like, say you have dry skin, this is a light moisturizer, you might want to mix some oils or something. And I'm like, okay, so we're paying $28 for a very simple formula that we could potentially mix stuff into. It's like for $28, I want a complete product. And one of the things they'll probably recommend for you to mix into it is Great Barrier Relief, which would be another $28. So it's really the price point, what the product is, and the way it's being described that it's not consistent to me. You know, it's mentioned in the video that it's taken 2 years to develop this product. So since it's taken so much time, I wouldn't make simplicity a selling point of it, you know, because you'd expect it to be like really ingenious and complex because so much time has gone into it. So that's a little bit of a conflict for me, and I think there just needs to be like a shift in the marketing in terms of what's being emphasized. So now that I'm done bitching, I'm going to talk about possible explanations for why things rolled out the way they did. So my first possible explanation is that perhaps there's a higher percentage of the actives in this formula. So since the formula isn't complex, there's not like 20 ingredients, there's only 9, maybe that leaves room to improve the percentage of those actives within the formula, the squalane and the oat extract. I think it's also important to note that not all extracts are created equal, so maybe they're sourcing their oat extract and their squalane from a more reputable source, so maybe they're paying more for that, and as such that cost is trying to be accounted for in the higher price of this product. In one of KraveBeauty's Instagram posts, there was a comment that asked, you know, it was advertised that there was 80% oat extract in this, so why is oat, specifically oat extract, the second to last ingredient? And a follow-up from the KraveBeauty team mentioned that law requires that extracts be presented in terms of its components. So an oat extract is oat and water. So that water content from that extract just gets added to the total water content of the product, whereas the oat extract component from that extract is standalone. So it's actually kind of, it's literally like saying that like there's this much oats in this and that's why it's so far down. But you don't really need to worry about the fact that there's not a lot of oat in it, because with a lot of active ingredients you actually don't need that high of a percentage to make it effective. And a lot of the times there's a sweet spot with certain ingredients, and if you tend to go over that, it could actually be detrimental instead of beneficial for your skin. Also, specifically with oat extract, you kind of wouldn't want the percentage of that to be high, because then you'd literally be like putting oatmeal on your face if it was really high. So to get that water cream texture, it would need to be relatively low, but once again, that's not a bad thing. So yeah, my first potential explanation is that there's a higher percentage of the actives in this specific formulation. And my second possible explanation is that maybe this formula is just so bomb the way it is. And you know, I'm not against a brand marking a product up if they believe they've really created a unique, sensational experience. So, you know, if they feel like with these 9 ingredients, they've managed to match the efficacy of a lot of higher end products, and it's ingenious in that way, I'm like, sure, charge more for it. But we're really not gonna know until like we try the products. And how do we do that? I bought it at launch. So after this video, I'm gonna have a follow-up video, which is gonna be like a first impressions and more of a full review. So yeah, if the shipping's anything like how it was when I got the hydrating cleanser and the beach shield, then it's gonna be fast because they have a distribution in Long Beach, I think. And since I'm in Hollywood, it could be here within the next 2 days. And that's what's cool about them if you live on each side of the coast, is that shipping's gonna be really fast. So I'm gonna post like a first impression / review type video next week after I've used the product for a certain amount of time. And that'll be alongside the e.l.f. skincare review because e.l.f. was supposed to happen this week, but I ordered it and they decided to take 11 days to deliver it, so this is it. So once again, this video isn't to spread hate or be malicious. It's really just, I started this channel to give my honest opinion about products and stuff, and in my last video I mentioned how I want to expand those opinions to campaigns and marketing and stuff like that, so I can better use my educational background to provide more in-depth analyses of these different aspects of the skincare industry, and that's essentially what this is. This is like my first stab at that. And this isn't to send hate to Leah, I've been a long-time subscriber of hers for a long time, and I actually respect the fact that she's actually kind of been trying to separate herself from the brand as a whole. I understand that she doesn't want KraveBeauty to be like that one skincare YouTuber's skincare line. She very much wants it to be its own established entity that will be respected like other brands like CeraVe or something like that. And that's how I'm looking at this campaign review. I'm objectively looking at KraveBeauty as a brand like I would that CeraVe or Clinique or Neutrogena. So I'm not looking at it as an individual basis. Like, I'm not blaming Leah for everything. She has like a whole team. It's a big organization. So with that said, if you like this video and you'd like to see more like it and would like to see some skincare reviews that I have down the pipeline, I would recommend subscribing below and following me at my Instagram at rickskin_, where I post texture shots, mini reviews, and updates for this channel. And yeah, my next full skincare review for sure is going to be next week. It's going to be e.l.f. skincare. Some of the products I've tried before, some of them are new to me. So I hope you'll be looking forward to that. And I'd like to thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.